Hey everybody, what's going on? Alan here, and this is the Gibson Garage Speed Shop YouTube channel. Welcome back to the channel. We got this dang old Sable back in here. And well, it's kind of a long journey for the Sable. If you've been following along, you know we've done a lot of work to this stuff. It started with the front suspension. We replaced everything under the front suspension, including the rack and pinion. And then it was overheating, so we replaced the thermostat. So we got the cleaner housing with the fresh gasket there, right? And we put in an upper hose. Should have done both hoses at that point when we replaced the thermostat. You're right, but we're trying to get by. A little bit later, the lower hose blows. Sure enough, leaving them stranded on the side of the road. But then we're getting a series of check engine lights. So the first time it told him to replace his cat, so we replaced that Y pipe setup with the two cats on it. This is a V6. So we replaced that whole thing, and it seemed to get rid of that code, and drove around for a little while. And then when we replaced the lower hose that blew, we were like, oh man, the water pump's leaking crazy, the main crankshaft seal is leaking crazy, so let's take it all apart. Let's do a timing chain while we're in there, right? Can of worms over a blown lower hose. But we've got all that replaced and brand new. Looks great, runs great. But then there's a code for oxygen sensors. And we're like, okay, yeah, we probably should have replaced those. When you replace a Y pipe and catalytic converter, it's kind of a good practice to do so. But again, trying to save a little bit of money. So we replaced the rear ones. It told us to replace one at a time, and then it told us to replace the other side. Then it goes to the front, told us to replace this front oxygen sensor. And then it told us that code went away, and then it told us to replace that front oxygen sensor. Now that we've got, after the timing, it told us to go through each oxygen sensor one at a time. The one in the back is staying. It won't go away. It could be bad, sure, but the code came up before it was bad. It's not likely, right? And the way it went through all four after we did the timing chain, and you can watch that video, the timing chain was done correctly. It was, after installed, it was rotated around like twice at least, and the timing marks stayed right where they're supposed to be. The car purrs, it runs great, right? It doesn't have any knock issues or codes or whatever codes that would be associated with like bad timing. So he eventually takes it to the dealership. I ran out of knowledge. It's like, I don't know why it would still be saying that, that's crazy. But we could throw more parts at it. Maybe it's got an air leak, maybe we could try another oxygen sensor. But I'm like, we should take it to the dealership and see what they say. So they came back and said that the ECU was bad. So, okay. Right, that's all it can be. So here we are, replacing that, throwing more parts at it, but at the word of the dealership, these guys are trained professionals, hopefully, anyway. But they have the ability and the knowledge to do all the testing and think of all the things I couldn't think of before taking a drastic step like that. So, but here we are. And then of course somewhere in that we managed to put in a new power steering pump and a new alternator as well, and I think a new battery. Yep. Alright, so in this particular vehicle, this is an 05 Sable, but it's the same as like Taurus, Ford Taurus, and I think it goes up to 09 but there's the main harness right there plugged in sideways into the firewall, and there's just one 10 mil. And you can get to it by sliding right over this intake manifold with a little swivel and a 10 mil. And then you can unscrew it and then stick your hands in there and hopefully pop that off. Oh, dang. Okay, so with that loose, that comes right out. I don't have to press no clips or anything. There are 2 additional nuts now, one on this side and one on that side. So we'll loosen those, and like this faceplate will come out with the computer. Oh, I think it went all the way down. We're okay. I can't get my hand in there and turned around in a way to grab it. There we go. I wish I could get my right hand in there somewhere. Maybe I can. Oh, almost slipped. I lost my footing. Sorry about blocking your camera view. How is this even supposed to come out? Will that faceplate come off? Oh, it is coming off. Come on all the way off. Or just come out. That works too. Yeah, that's what we're... Now how the hell do we get it? Okay, well we can at least take this faceplate off and make it smaller, I think. There we go. Oh, it's off. I just can't figure out how to get it out. Okay, that's out. Oh, and we'll just pull it out right here by the intake, hopefully. Oh, this is a tight squeeze. Oh, it's actually a little tight right underneath the intake, but once you get it, you know, out and then flipped, slides right out. So according to the AutoZone website, there are 3 choices, and this is the one I need. The MD1 F1501 unit. Luckily, that allows me to get the cheapest one. I was on the website, they're like $215 to $400 for the, depending on which number you would have had. But that's ordered, so that will be here in a couple days. And I did have to give them, you want to make sure before you unplug it, you want to make sure you write down your mileage, get your VIN number ready, and get your tire size ready. You're going to need all that typically. Alright, the new PCM is here, so we can snake that back in through the driver's side underneath the intake, and then we'll put the that faceplate on afterwards. Instead of taking it out together, I should have pulled the faceplate off first. That would have made things a little easier to pull it out, and I'm sure it'll make things easier to go back in. Alright, so we'll sneak it in this hole here. Just gonna move some things around, just like I had to do when I pulled it out. And we'll just kind of slide it just like that. Gotta tuck it, push it. There we go. There we go. I'm in the grass and that fell all the way to the ground. I can feel it going in. Okay. That feels tight. Alright, so this is the paper that came with the ECU. There are 5 different types of systems apparently for this range, or for this ECU anyway. There's an A and D, no special procedures required. A B and C, which there are special procedures for recoding the key for the security. And then there's a system E, which is pretty much the same procedures for encoding a key. But you need a scan tool that can access that stuff, and I do not have that. So if we look on the other side of this, it tells us all the way down at the bottom, we've got a Mercury Sable 05. That is a system E here in the gray column, and it tells you how many keys are required for that type of system. If it has a starter interrupt, which this one does, if it's going to flash an indicator, all kinds of stuff. And then there's these numbers like programming diagnostic tools. There's a number 2, a number 4, a number 6. I don't know what those numbers are. I don't have any idea what that means. I do know that I got the Mercury number 10 key. It even says so right here at the end of Mercury Sable number 10. But that's the PATS key type. But I've got the battery in, so now we're going to have this towed to the dealership. It might start up. I don't know. I'd hate to make things worse. Just, you know, fooling around, experimenting. I'd hate to do that and then do something to the security that's irreversible or would cost him more money. I'm so curious, so I gotta know. Well, you know, that might not happen. Let's see. Keyless entry works. Looking for security. Theft. Theft light is flashing. I don't think it's going to let me start it. Nope. Won't let me start it. And I know the battery's fully charged too, so that's it. Let me try putting my foot on the brake. Let's just make sure. Yep, not. We're in park. Yeah. Damn it. Well, I think that's going to do it for the Jetta. As you can clearly see, the anti-theft light is not going to let us start it. So we're going to take it to the dealership, let them do their magic, and hopefully the check engine lights stay away. Because if you remember, we were getting check engine light for oxygen sensor codes. So the dealership confirmed it's got to be the computer. We replaced it. Let's see what happens. I'll let you guys know. Stay tuned to like my TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. It's all Gibson Garage Speed Shop for updates, like daily updates. And then, because these videos are only weekly, but you sign up to those and you can see what's going on in between the videos. Please also subscribe and follow all those things, because we've got more stuff coming up. Got tint to do on the V-dub over there, and of course we're in the middle of an LS swap for the OBS right on the other side of the V-dub. We're going to be moving a lot of those parts from that engine over to the Suburban, right, just to beef that up. And then I've got a new motor for the Suburban as well. Got lots of stuff coming. I've got to put in some fresh bushings in the Magnum over here. I'm still fighting the alignment on that. But until next time, guys, peace.